Dear students, Palash and Kajal, both of you are welcome in this class. Today is 23rd February 2025 and time is 5:37 p.m. evening time. And I'm thankful to you that you have made it to attend this class. And we continue with the topic law of diminishing returns or variable proportion in crop production. I have already taken roughly say 2 lectures on this topic, and I will just flash the slide what has been covered in the previous lectures. And in the first lecture, if you remember, I exposed you to some terminology and some productivity measures, etc. You remember average productivity, total productivity, elasticity of production, partial factor productivity, etc., etc. These were discussed with you, and followed by I discussed the meaning of law of diminishing return. And it also happens, this law, in our day-to-day life also. Our teacher used to give one example of eating your food. Eating your food means suppose you are eating chapati or whatever you are eating. So you get more satisfaction from first chapati or few early food when you start eating. And then from the next, third, fourth, fifth, your satisfaction decreases with the addition of each chapati. That means your marginal utility is declining. So that way we can also explain law of diminishing return. Similarly, if you go on adding fertilizer is a variable factor, land is a fixed factor. So if you go on adding fertilizer doses, so initially it will increase, the production will increase, or marginal return will increase from 0 to 20, 0 to 50. And again, when you increase the dose, it may start decreasing. And if you continue to increase this fertilizer dose, in the end, it will become negative also. Marginal return will become negative. And most of these relationships are in physical terms. So, law of variable proportion, I already told you, difference in these two laws. And then 3 stages, you remember, stage 1 and 3 were irrational, and stage 2 is rational stage. Here, producer should operate in this stage 2. And I have given you one example also, where it was shown this law of diminishing return. You can see, just refreshing your memories. And you got 3 kinds of returns: increasing return, diminishing return, and finally negative return. And then factor ratio keep changing, fixed factor to variable factor ratios. You have seen these lines: marginal product, average product, and you have also seen 3 stages and what happens under each stage. This was explained to you. And then we discussed some examples I have already given to you, and you can solve yourself. Did you do it, Kajal?
Yes, sir.
You did it. And Palash, you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so make practice of these. This is very simple. And I told you how to calculate these values of MP, AP, etc. and how to fill in the blanks also. And you need to find out 3 phases of the law of diminishing return. Now this topic was left. Means what are the reasons for increasing, decreasing, and negative return. Increasing return, you know when your MP is increasing. Decreasing return when your MP starts decreasing, and negative returns when your MP becomes negative. This is mostly based upon MP. So you see reasons for increasing return to a factor. It happens in stage 1. There are 3 important reasons. It is easy to remember that in stage 1, you got increasing return, in 2, decreasing return, or diminishing return. In stage 3, you get negative return. Easy to say, but why it happens? What are the reasons that such changes happen in returns? And in other words also, you can call them law of returns. These are 3 different law of return. In one, return is increasing. In other, return is decreasing. or diminishing. And in third, the return becomes negative. So they are also can be divided into three different laws. This law of diminishing return or law of variable proportion can be broken down into three different phases: increasing return, decreasing return, and negative return. So why marginal return increases in phase one or stage one? The reason is of why our return increases. You see, TP increases at increasing rate. So here, better utilization of fixed factor. Better utilize, you will see how it happens, better utilization of fixed factor. Number two, increase efficiency of variable factor. How the efficiency of variable factor increases, it helps in increasing the total product. Indivisibility of fixed factor. You cannot divide fixed factor. It will remain whole. It will remain whole or it will remain one. If you have one field or one hectare land, then 1 hectare is your fixed resource or fixed factor. It is not divided. It cannot be divided in economic terms. Reasons for diminishing return to a factor in stage 2, but it is not negative. It diminishes. So here also you see the optimum combination of factors. Here optimum combination of fixed and variable factors can be calibrated, can be made known. Imperfect substitutes means your variable factor cannot substitute the fixed factor. There is limit. There is some limit of the fixed factor. Up to that limit, it can tolerate and it is happy to have variable factors. Beyond certain level, if you go on increasing the ratio of variable factor to the fixed factor, then it will not bear it. It will not be able to handle it. It will result in decreased efficiency of variable factor. So if you want to increase production, you cannot increase production here by simply increasing the variable factor. Here you need to increase the fixed factor also. Then fixed is not increased here. So fixed is fixed. So that is why they are imperfect substitute. Land का काम land ही करेगा. Labor नहीं कर सकता. And land can bear a fixed or land would need a fixed number of variable factor. So they are imperfect substitutes. Reasons for negative return in phase 3, limitations of the fixed factor. Means you are increasing variable factor again and again. Then there is limit that this fixed factor can bear those variable factor. We'll discuss poor coordination between variable and fixed factor and decreased efficiency of variable factor. So actually in point number 2 serves the purpose of point number 3 here. Very easy to explain. So actually they have been broken into 2 different points, but they got almost same meaning. So many a times students do not know why this behavior of marginal return is happening. So these are the reasons under 3 different phases. Now we can discuss in detail. For example, in stage 1, it is increasing return to a factor. So better utilization of fixed factor, increased efficiency of variable factor, and indivisibility of fixed factor. So these are 3 reasons for increase in marginal return or increase in total product at increasing rate. Better utilization of the fixed factor. Supply of the fixed factor is too large here. Supply of the fixed factor is too large. It is enough, sufficient. It can accommodate many variable factor. And it is hungry. It wants more and more variable factor because I'm not fully utilized. I'm not fully utilized. So you see, here you can say means variable factor is free. There will not be any competition between variable factors. They will not affect efficiency of each other. Rather, they can promote the efficiency of each other. So therefore, there is no crowding of variable factor, hence better utilization of the fixed factor. This is one reason. So supply of fixed factor is too large, whereas variable factors are too few. So fixed factor is not fully utilized here. When variable factors increased and combined with fixed factor, then fixed factor is better utilized. There is still a scope of increasing the variable factor here, and output increases at an increasing rate. So first point, you can say that here better utilization of the fixed factor. Now, to increase the efficiency of variable factor. So here, when variable factors are increased and combined with fixed factor, then former is utilized. Former means fixed factor is utilized in a more efficient manner. Means you will not have any unused fixed factor. Suppose you have 1 hectare land and you have 20 laborers to work on this land. But these 20 laborers are not enough. These 20 laborers are all not enough to cover the 1 hectare land. Then some area of the land, some part of the land will not be used for cultivation. However, it would be counted. It would be counted. So it will have less pressure of variable factor. So therefore, former is utilized in a more efficient manner. Further, there is a greater cooperation and high degree of specialization between different units of variable factor. Just take example of labor. If they are not just a medium number, just normal number of laborers, they would have friendship, they would not have competition. Rather, some specialization and cooperation can happen among the variable factor. So therefore, overall, the efficiency of the fixed factor, increased efficiency of the variable factors happen. This is also another reason why you get increasing returns. Point number 3, indivisibility of the fixed factor. So generally, fixed factors which are combined with variable factors are indivisible. They cannot be divided. Once an investment is made in an indivisible fixed factor, once a farmer has purchased 1 hectare land, whether he cultivates on it or not, but fixed charges, fixed cost will always be there. Whether you cultivate the plant on whole hectare area or say 1/10 you are cultivating, remaining you are not cultivating. Also likewise means it is indivisible. Once an investment is made in an indivisible factor, then addition of more and more units of variable factor improves utilization of fixed factor. So in this stage, there is no excess. There is no excess of variable factor. Therefore, this increasing return happens. Now, in stage 2, you see what happens. But what happens? Diminishing returns. So why diminishing returns here? But they are not negative. They are not negative. So optimum combination of factor is available in this stage. In the first stage, you see efficiency was there, everything was there. But it demanded more variable factor to realize more returns, to realize more cumulative returns. So here you will find optimum combination of factor. However, you will see these variable factors are imperfect substitute of fixed factor. So now you see optimum combination of factor among different combination of variable and fixed factor. Combination means 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, 1:4, 1:5. You go on increasing the variable factor. One, that is fixed factor, will remain constant. So there is one optimum combination at some place in stage 2, whether it is 1:5, 1:10, whatever is there, that best combination exists in stage 2. So after making optimum use of fixed factor, marginal return, MR of variable factor begins to diminish. Example, if a machine is a fixed factor, is at its optimum use when 4 laborers are employed, then addition of 1 more labor you can make, but it will increase TP by very less amount and MP will start diminishing. So here you need to work out that how much is the extra return due to addition of 1 unit. So you need to know cost of the 1 unit, additional cost of 1 unit, and additional return. If the return is more, you can go to that combination. But when your return is equal to your cost, marginal cost, then that is the best pair or best combination of fixed and variable factor. Imperfect substitute, diminishing returns to a factor occurs between, because fixed and variable factors are imperfect substitute. So if you want to increase the productivity by increasing the labor, you cannot continue to increase it unless you increase the fixed factor also. So this variable factor cannot substitute for fixed factor. So there is a limit to the extent of which one factor of production can be substituted for another. Now stage 3. So stage 3, you see there are negative returns in stage 3 when MP becomes negative and TP starts falling in stage 3. So here you get limitation of the fixed factor because you continue to increase. If you see the graph in stage 3, you are increasing the value of X. In stage 1, you get less value of X. If you go to stage 2, you will see more value of X. X means your variable factor. If you go to stage 3, that means you are increasing the value or number of X, number of labors. So here, limitation of fixed factor happens. Poor coordination between variable and fixed factor. It is just overcrowding. So there may be poor coordination. Decrease in efficiency of variable factor. So factor number 2 will cause decrease in efficiency. These two are related. Now, limitation of fixed factor in stage 3. The negative returns to a factor apply because some factors of production are of fixed nature, which cannot be increased with increase in variable factor in the short run. So here you have more variable factor than the needed to get the best from the fixed factor. To get the best from the fixed factor. So you cannot get more yield or more return by continuously adding the variable factor because there is limitation of the fixed factor. Number 2, poor coordination between variable and fixed factor. When variable factor becomes too excessive, so many labors are there in relation to or in proportion to fixed factor, then they obstruct or disturb each other. It leads to poor coordination between variable and fixed factor. Poor coordination means excess. And as a result, total output falls instead of rising and MP become negative. So you can see this is also important. You might be knowing one proverb, English proverb, too many cooks spoil the dish. If you want to make a good dish, you cannot have large number of cooks. एक ही खाने को 4 लोग बनाएगा तो वो चारों आदमी नमक ही डाल देगा उसमें, कोई मिर्ची नहीं डालेगा, कोई हल्दी 2 बार डाल देगा, कोई कुछ डाल देगा, कोई. So your dish will be spoiled. Similarly, if the number of variable factor is more than that can be accommodated by fixed factor, it will definitely will be a poor combination of fixed and variable factor. Therefore, it will decrease the efficiency also, decrease the efficiency of the variable factor. Too many cooks और dish जो बनेगा वो खराब बनेगा, output would be negative. So with continuous increase in variable factor, advantages of specialization and division of labor start diminishing. It results in inefficiency of the variable factor, which is another reason for negative return to eventually set in. They come in. Any problem in this? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, so
Yes, sir.
now see properties of TP, MP, AP. These are very frequently asked in quiz exams, in competitive exams. I have already discussed these. Just refreshing your memories. TP, MP, AP. In stage 1, TP increases first at increasing rate and then at decreasing rate in stage 1. You see, the MP reaches maximum and then it starts sliding. This TP increases first at increasing rate and then at decreasing rate. MP increases to a maximum and then begins to decrease in stage 1. It starts decreasing in stage 1 itself. Our maximum value is also in stage 1. And AP, it increases in stage 1. Stage 2, TP continues to increase at a decreasing rate. After reaching maximum, begins to decrease. You know, MP starts falling, decreasing. Therefore, TP increases at decreasing rate. What happens to MP? Continues to decrease till reaches 0. It will continue. But in stage 2, it is not 0 actually, but it will continue to decrease. And then increase to maximum, and then begins to decrease and continuously diminishing. AP is decreasing, but it is not negative. Now, stage 3 continues to decrease. TP continues to decrease in stage 3. MP, it is negative, and AP continues to decrease. So these are the relations with respect to different stages. Now, relationship between TP, AP, MP. When MP increases, TP increases at increasing rate. MP constant, TP increases at constant rate. You remember 0, 0 MP. MP decreases, TP increases at decreasing rate. MP 0, TP maximum. ये सब आपको पता है, okay? Now, profit maximization. As you know, stage 2 is the relevant stage of production, considered as rational stage. MP, although decreasing, but it is not negative in this stage. Our physical relationship alone cannot decide the level of production in this stage for profit maximization. What should be the ideal combination of two factors, fixed and variable factor, that can be determined by the introduction of product price and input cost. What is the price of the additional output, and what is the cost of the additional input? So we can put it in economic perspective and calculate the optimum point or optimum ratio of these two factors. So necessary condition of profit maximization is where the optimum input, that is OX, X is your variable factor, whose value of MP equals to its price. So see, delta Y upon delta X, due to 1 unit change in X, how many unit changes in Y? And these are the price ratios of X and Y. Price of X, price of Y. So you can cross multiply it and see where you get marginal cost is equal to marginal return, additional return. It is the point of maximum profit. So you should not operate beyond this combination. Now, in this law, there are certain assumptions also. Assumption means this law is not that much universal, but in general, it is applicable in different spheres of our life, most common in agriculture, but there are certain assumptions in this law. For example, you say variable factor. One labor is hardworking, other labor doesn't want to work or works very less. So all the unit of the given commodity are homogeneous. All have to be homogeneous, means identical in size, shape, quality, and quantity. Similarly, your land also, fixed factor should also, of course, this is one, but this should also be uniform. The units of consumption are of reasonable size. The consumption is normal. Here, unit of consumption means the number of labor, N or X, you can say X. ऐसा नहीं है कि 1 बीघा लैंड लिया और 1 लेबर लिया, 2 लेबर लिया, 2 लेबर लेके आपने उसको टेस्ट कर दिया, लॉ ऑफ डिमिनिशिंग रिटर्न लगा दे. No, there has to be certain minimum number of those labors that should be there. So it is not that simply by taking 2-3 labors you can say law of diminishing standard. There is some standard number of labor that I don't know, but here point is that there should be proportionate and reasonable size of the consumption. It has to be normal. Consumption is continuous. Another point is when you employ these labors, it is continuous. It is not that for 1 day or half day you employed them, another half day. It should not be like this. Whole day they should work. So consumption is continuous. There is no unduly long time interval between the consumption in the successive units. ऐसा नहीं है कि 4 लेबर आज लगा दिया, 2 दिन छोड़ के 3 कल लगा दिया. It has to be continuous. The law assumes that only one type of commodity is used for consumption at a time. Consumption here means variable input. See, variable input, you are consuming, you are using it. So Only one type of commodity means only one variable factor can be tested at a time. Consumer is rational human being and he aims at maximum of satisfaction. So actually this law is in different sense. As I was telling you, chapati also I was saying. So in that case, the human being has to be rational human being. It should not be irrational. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि people have different hunger. Some people have normal hunger. Some people can have abnormal hunger also. नहीं, पहलवान होता है, कई बार वो दूध पीता जाता है, उस पर थोड़ी ये नियम लगेगा, उसको और अच्छा लगता है, you can drink 10 liters of milk. वो कहना मुश्किल है. So consumer is rational human being and he aims at maximum of satisfaction. Now there are some exceptions to this law. Law of diminishing return also have some exceptions like hobbies. In certain hobbies like stamp collection or old coins collection, every addition unit gives you more pleasure. So here this law does not employ. I give you my own example. I am big fan of a singer, Mohammed Rafi. And I started collecting his songs. Now I have more than 6,000, 5,500 songs. With every addition of song, I would feel more and more happy. I would walk through the Delhi roads. I'll walk through the different small bazaars here and there. I'll collect his songs and pay some money, pay time. But I did make it. So I have large collection, but still I'm hungry for it. I want more and more. So under these circumstances, this law may not be applicable. Then people who drunkards, शराब पीता है जो, उस पर भी नहीं लगता, उसको थोड़े से अच्छा नहीं लगता जब तक पूरा बोतल खत्म नहीं करता, तो उस पर भी does not apply. It is not for normal human beings. Miser, do you know difference in miser and greedy person? Greedy person, greedy, Greedy, greedy person, and miser.
Right.
Miser is
Use.
Miser is
No, sir. No.
Miser, let me tell you. Miser is conjuice. Conjuice means he has money. He has good money, but he does not want to spend. That is a miser person. Greedy person has good money, but he wants more and more. He wants more and more money with him. That is greedy means लालची. दादा बंगाली में क्या बोलता है लालची को? लालची है?
लोभी सर,
है?
बंगाली में बोलते हैं लोभी.
Lobi. Yes, you are right. Lobi is also in Hindi. Maybe from Sanskrit you got lob. Lob is lobi or lalchi. Lalchi is typical Hindi, you can say, but lob is correct. Lobi person, he has everything, but he wants more and more. That is why he is lobi or lalchi. Miser, he has good money. Mukesh Ambani has great money, but he is not doing this. How to say it? He's not charity. He's not doing charity. Charity or some other word is also there. Charity or some other word is there. What people do? Some people are
Public welfare.
Philanthropy.
Welfare.
No, philanthropy. Philanthropic people. Philanthropy. My spelling भूल गया. Means they are doing spending their money for good cause. You know one example about Dr. B.P. Pal. Who is he?
Sir, can you examine?
Dr. B.P. Pal.
The rose breeder.
Wheat breeder.
Rose breeder. He says wheat breeder. I say he is breeder of both. He is wheat breeder as well as rose breeder, father of Indian roses. And what he did, he was DG also, I think first DG of ICR, Dr. B.P. Pal. He donated his all property to IRA. So I can say he's philanthropologist, how to call it, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, आप देखना philanthropy क्या होता है. People donating more money, their money and assets for community causes, common causes. I've seen many people in other countries, they donate their land for colleges, for schools, to do research. Some people have donated their bodies also for medical research. So there are people. So it is drunkards, it does not work. Miser, it is not applicable. And reading habit, some people have like to read more and more interest. So it may not be applicable there. And then it has got some importance also. It has got some value also. So it is basis of economic laws and concepts. So it is fundamental law. And through this law, several laws are offshoot. Like I was telling you, laws of return, increasing return, diminishing return, and increasing, decreasing return. There may be 3-4 such laws of return that you can see in any agricultural economics book. Now, in public finance, it can guide the government to impose and justify progressive income tax on the ground of this law. As the income increases, the marginal utility of income decreases. So it has got several applications. Now we have got, next is your businessman. It can guide to the businessman also. A businessman or producer can increase the sale of his product by fixing a lower price. Since consumers tend to buy more to equate marginal utility with price, a producer can expect a rise in sale. Agriculture, it is applicable to optimum input use. So this ends this lecture. So now your questions or your suggestions or anything you want to say or discuss. We have 5 minutes more in closing to end this link. This link is having 5 minutes more. So we can have a chat. We can ask anything related to this lecture or any general thing. कुछ भी पूछ सकते हो. Yeah, welcome. क्या नाम है इसका? Jyoti, you are welcome in this class. You can attend whenever you are free. So any question related to law of diminishing return or law of anything you want to ask about Krishi Mela today, you want to ask anything? So in IRA, we are celebrating Kisan Mela, Krishi Mela from 22 to 24. Yesterday, it was inaugurated by our agricultural minister, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and he was very much farmers supportive, and he told that now time has come to increase the seed availability to the farmer. He is giving more emphasis on seed availability to the farmer. Do you know about SRR, seed replacement rate? What is that? What is that? Tell me.
Sir, how many, sir, can I say in Hindi?
Oh, sure.
सर कितना नया सीड जो स्टोर्ड सीड फार्मर जो रिजर्व करते हैं सीड, उसके अपार्ट फ्रॉम दो सीड्स हम कितनी नई सीड्स की वैरायटी ग्रो कर रहे हैं, कितना सीड चेंज कर रहे हैं. जैसे पल्सेस का सीड रिप्लेसमेंट रेट बहुत लो होता है और फार्मर अपना ही सेव्ड सीड हमेशा यूज करते हैं उसमें.
Very correct. Means it is just an idea. Means suppose 100 units of seed are used by the farmers. So out of 100 units of seed, what proportion is occupied by certified seed? Certified seed or truthfully labeled seed means good quality seed. How much good quality seed is part of the total seed used by the farmers? That is your seed replacement rate. Means how much they are replacing by using the improved seed or say certified seed or TFL. TFL is truthfully labeled seed. Labeled, L-A-B-E-L-E-D, labeled, not labeled, L-E-B-L-L. That is seed replacement rate for any such information, I would suggest you to go to seednet.gov.in. You write down this site, seednet, SEEDNET .gov.in. Suppose as a student you are interested to know varieties of rice, varieties of mustard, any crop, and you do not know. So best way is to go to this site, and you will find list of all the release variety from the first variety to the latest variety. You can find complete list of all the varieties. You can download in PDF format. So for latest information on varieties, you can find. Suppose, and there are also permutation and combination to search the varieties also. If I want to know rice variety, which is for direct seeded rice under Jharkhand condition, then I can search the variety. Or similarly, if I know characteristics of one variety, if I am not able to find anywhere, so it will give you release year, who are the breeder, where from it was released, what are the characteristics of these varieties, and also great information about seed, how much breeder seed, which varieties are under seed chain. Likewise, any information on seed and varieties, you can look to this website. This will give you excellent information about all such. What is notification number of varieties, everything. Don't spend too much time on this, but whenever you are short of information, you can find list of varieties from this website. This is maintained by Seed Division of the Government of India, or you